Hey, ¿qué onda, chavos? Bienvenidos aquí a los Amigos de Downey Nissan. Oye, pues we are in March finally.
Woo!
I'm so excited, man. We got a special guest.
Así es, tenemos un special guest, a local attorney here in the city of Downey, Miguel Duarte.
Yes.
Also, alumni, UCLA alumni.
Yeah, he walked in and he told me, I don't know which one I should wear. But he's really like, I don't want to say the word cocky, but he was like, should I wear this one or should I wear my Letterman's jacket? I'm like, you have a Letterman's jacket? And he goes, and I'm like looking at him and he's like, oh, this guy knows about sports. He goes, yeah, it's just my Letterman's jacket. And I was going to ask him, how'd you get a Letterman's jacket? Because usually a Letterman's jacket, Miguel, well, first of all, thank you for being here, man.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my goodness. So going back on the conversation, usually a Letterman's jacket is someone who's played sports and stuff like that in college or in high school.
Right.
And then right away he said, well, I played in high school. I go, okay.
Yeah. Disclaimer. I had to put the disclaimer.
Yeah. So we're super excited, Miguel, porque este mes vamos a regalar ¿qué?
Le estamos regalando un Nissan Z como el que está atrás de nosotros.
Damn.
So we're celebrating big the month of March.
A ver, explica un poquito sobre este Nissan Z, because it's not just a regular Nissan Z, it's a
Nismo. That's
Nismo.
right, yes.
So tell us a little bit about it.
Tell us, okay.
Diablito, this month of March, Downey Nissan is giving away this 2024 Nissan Z Nismo, the ultimate performance sports car. All you have to do is guess the number of basketballs inside this Nissan Z Nismo. Did you know this sports car can produce over 400 horsepower with its powerful twin-turbo V6 engine? It boosts exhilarating acceleration and precise handling, perfect for any auto enthusiast. The Nismo trim enhances this with sports-tuned suspension, improved aerodynamics, and distinctive design features that make it stand out on the road. Inside, you'll find advanced tech, including an intuitive infotainment system and premium interior, ensuring comfort during every drive. Plus, with Nissan's reputation for reliability and safety, you're investing in a car that will provide thrills and peace of mind for years to come. If you want to win this Nissan Z Nismo, all you have to do is visit downeynissan.com or come in person. And trust me, you would want this head-turning sports car. The 2024 Nissan Z Nismo is an excellent choice for you.
All right, guys, so you guys get to participate. ¿Cómo pueden participar?
Es muy fácil. Pueden venir en persona en Downey Nissan y contar cuántas balones hay adentro del Nissan Z Nismo. O lo pueden hacer por el internet también en nissanofdowney.com.
Así es. What color is that? Do you know the color? Because I don't know colors. I know it's gray, bluish. All right, I guess we don't.
Stop asking me questions I don't know and I'm not prepared.
Oh, my goodness. All right, guys. So, anyway, we're here because también, you guys know we talk about car-related issues. Y, bueno, Miguel es un attorney, como acaba de mencionar Rebecca. He practices here in Downey. But it's interesting how you started. You told me you started at an actual firm, but then you were like, you know what, I want to start my own stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I started off, I was at a firm in Orange County. I did that for about 2 years, and then I decided, hey, I don't like taking the orders from people, right? So let me start my own
You're
office.
not an order taker.
No, I'm not. So I decided, hey, I wanted to open up my own
Es
shop
jefe.
and be the boss, just
Oye,
like Rebecca.
pero 2 años, o sea, normalmente para unas personas son años. Yo tengo 26 años en la radio con la misma empresa y nunca, he pensado hacer algo diferente, pero no me animo. ¿Cómo te animaste tú?
I just I think a lot of times if you think about it, you're not going to do it, and you just have to do it. So that's kind of my approach and my mindset is that I'm going to put all my focus, all my energy into doing this, and that's how I decided to do it, just by doing it. Because if you think about it, and you're never going to be ready. I think you're always going to have doubts. Oh, should I, do I need to know more, this and that? So for me, it was just like, hey, the best way of doing it is just by jumping in, right? Just how you learn to swim. When we were kids, they throw you in the pool and you learn to swim, right? So
Rebecca,
that was pretty much it.
Yeah, this is like a ongoing theme. Con nuestros invitados that have come, who have their own businesses, they're same way you're saying it, they say it. I just did it. I mean, if I think about it, I'm never going to do it. But here you have Rebecca, myself, in the same loop, running like hamsters, wanting to do stuff, taking orders, and it's just is it an upbringing thing? Do you think? Since you're a lawyer, I mean, obviously you know the mind. What is it that keeps a lot of us from jumping into that different train?
You know what? Part of it, I think, probably is a little bit of upbringing. But I think, as Latinos, you're growing up. I think a lot of us do have a lot of entrepreneurial background. With a lot of small businesses here in Downey, so you see people doing it that are like you. So I think that kind of makes it a little easier, a little motivation. But I think that's what you see others doing it, and I tell people I consider myself. I have a law firm, but I consider myself more of a small business person. Right. So just my service is just law. So I see so many people that have their own businesses, and to me, it's kind of motivation. And right. I know if they did it, I could. So
that's crazy. See, I'm listening to you like our other guests. It's all about motivation. I see you like right now. I'm being motivated, and Rebecca's being motivated, but we don't do anything. We're still running in that wheel like hamsters, So that's what I'm trying to understand. I mean, this is a big deal. You becoming, a lawyer 2 years at a firm, and you're like, screw this. I'm going to open up my own business, and you do. And congratulations, man. You're very inspiring. Although, like I said, you inspire me right now, but then I walk out these doors, and I'm like, I don't understand what's wrong with me. Damn it. What happened? Why are you laughing now? Well, anyways, so yeah, you can tell we have issues.
You know what I love about Miguel, though? He's an attorney. Obviously, he owns his own firm. Yeah. And he's just so calm. There's just like a peace about him that I just I feel so at peace right now. And usually they're like fast talkers, or they're this, or they're stressed out. So how do you maintain like your calmness and your humbleness and, that vibe that you carry?
We were talking earlier is that, he was asking me about, do I watch the Lincoln Lawyer, stuff like that. And I told him, when I get home, I kind of just, turn off the switch, and I'll watch cooking shows, things that I don't do, just to kind of take a break and kind of, keep that peace and calm. I don't really take work home with me. Once I get home, that's it. It's off. And, I'll do other things. I have dogs, stuff like that. So.
And you're close with your family too.
Yeah. So definitely, I have like 3 nephews that they're all pretty active in sports, stuff like that. So I get to go to their events and all that. But yeah, I definitely don't want to take my work with me. So in terms of how do I stay calm, stuff like that, it's just by kind of putting the off switch when you get home. That's it.
That's crazy, man. Well, like I was saying earlier, you are. I just met you a few minutes ago, and you are an inspiration, a Latino that's doing things. And like you said, it's just leap and do it. And, but it gets harder as you grow older, man, because, you know what, though? It's funny because it used to be, my excuse was like, I have kids. But now they're older. One's going to college, one's already going to be in high school. They need to take their own responsibility, But, time to jump this damn hamster wheel, Reb.
Yeah. No, I mean, when you get older, you just get a nature habit, right? For me, if I had to go back into, government work or something like that, I probably couldn't do it anymore. Yeah. Because I've been on my own so long.
Oh, yeah. The moment you are on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. The moment you leave serving McDonald's, you ain't coming back, man. There's no way. So anyway, you are a we were going to have another.
Actually, what advice would you give somebody who has 2 kids, who is older, who wants to jump ship? What would you tell them to do at this moment if they are listening to?
If in terms of law, I'll tell you what. When I was in law school, we had some older students. They're actually called the OWLs, older, wiser law students. That's what it stood for. And to me, I thought they were the most well-prepared students there because, for them, it was, they have kids, they have a family. So, they knew how to, time-wise, they knew how to, dedicate their time better. For them, it was like, there was a guy in my class who he wore a suit every day to class, which I always thought was very weird. We were, flip-flops, T-shirts, stuff like that. And I asked him one day, why do you wear a suit? He's like, well, because I take this as my job. So from, 8 in the morning to 5 p.m., I take this as a job. That way I can be done because I have a family. So after that, when I get home, I need to spend time with my kids and everything. So treating this like a job for him, made his, in terms of time and everything more efficient.
Right.
So, for the older people that want to, still, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. I think they have some advantages, and the advantages is, they, a lot of times way more mature, right? And just they've been in the world. They know how it works. So in terms of like how to manage their time or dedication, motivation, I think in some ways it's an advantage,
right,
for them. So
the older the better.
Yeah, there you go. You get a little better with age, right?
Nice.
It's like wine.
So this is cool because when I told him, "Are you a accident lawyer?" He goes, "No. Well, my partner couldn't come, but I'm here, to talk about. We could talk about criminal stuff like DUIs, hit and runs, assault and deadly weapon, suspended license." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. So you're a prosecutor?" He goes, "Oh no, I'm a defense lawyer." I'm like, "Whoa, what?" Because it's way different. These guys have different minds, man. And I was telling you about my daughter that I tell her, "So what are you gonna do when you grow up?" And she's like, "This is my younger daughter." She's like, "I want to be the lawyer the judge that says you're not the father." And I tell her, "You know what? You'd be perfect because one, you like arguing with me all the time, and the other one is because you always lie, but in a way where you try to lie in a sense where you want to get out of a situation." Is that what a defense lawyer is?
It's funny. You get that all the time. Hey, you're a good liar, a good lawyer, stuff like that. But what you really do is, I would say you're just, constructing the facts in a different way.
Right.
You see things a little differently. So it's, some people say, liar, but, lying doesn't get you too far.
So,
right?
so basically I don't know how to say it. I don't know the terminology, lawyer terminology, but it's like lying, but with facts and creating a good story, right?
Yeah, a lot of times
That's
you're
dope,
a storyteller, right?
That's so cool.
But yeah, just manufactured around the facts, and again, sometimes it's just the way that people can view things or not, and
right.
you're just trying to shape the story to with the facts and the law to show the best light for your client.
That's why a defense lawyer, Rebecca, I think gets paid more than a prosecutor, because these guys come up with they're storytellers. Hey, just give me an idea for a book, for kids' book. Yeah. All right. So let's talk DUIs, man. Obviously, no one should be drinking and driving, right, Rebecca?
Correct.
And right now the penalties are stiff. We have a new new DA who's really going after all these people. So what's the worst case that you've seen and you got the guy out?
That's tough to say, because I agree with you. First is I used to have a blog, and the first thing I tell people, how not to get a DUI is don't drink and drive, right? So for a lot of people, it's not they deliberately do that or not. It's just that some circumstances happen, and they end up in a situation that is gotten out of control. Mm-hmm. But I've seen a lot of unfortunately very bad incidents with DUIs. I currently have a case where somebody's lost their leg in an accident involving a DUI driver. So it's those situations are very tough. My situation is to go in and see, one, if they're really guilty or not. Mm-hmm. And then if the facts are not on our side, how do we mitigate this? How do we tell their story? Because again, with DUI, it's a crime that is not a typical criminal case, right? People don't really have a disposition in terms of a negative disposition to get DUIs. So, DUIs, I've had clients who've been police officers, college professors, CEOs. So it's really it's almost like a white collar crime in the sense that it can happen to anybody.
Right.
So it's just one bad night, and that's a situation. So
one bad decision.
One bad decision, right? So it's one of those things where it's but it's serious because most of my clients are professionals, right? So
but you would think that they would do the right thing, right? Especially with share apps now. What do they call it? Yeah,
but once you have a couple tequilas in your system and you're not thinking right and you're thinking, "Oh, I'm still good to drive," Are
you speaking from experience? Rebecca, sounds like you're speaking from experience.
I'm just saying, you don't think when you have a consumption of alcohol in your system already. You think you're still good, you're having fun, All right. I live down the street.
Right.
Nothing's gonna happen
No,
to me.
I understand.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
never been there, but yeah.
And you know,
I guess
sometimes when you with the share app, you know, the people say, "Hey, there's Uber, this and that," and you'll see situations where somebody's Ubered the entire night, and they get back to their original location, and then I'm just a small drive home from there.
Right.
I've been responsible all night, and then
They take the chance.
and then so, take the chance and something happens. So, those are the terrible situations where people win, but it's just common, right?
Right. So as a defender, what would you say your percentage of successful non-DUI? What do you call it when guilty verdicts? Have you been able to
Well, you know what?
successfully?
For me, actually, it's interesting because I'm one of the only few attorneys that actually prosecuted DUI. I started prosecuting actually,
Oh, you started
and
it.
then so going back, and then and I was actually in a DUI court prosecuting, and now I'm defending. So I'm one of the few attorneys that's actually taking cases at trial on both sides. Of the aisle.
Wow.
Wow.
So yeah.
So you're like this is kind of boring. So I'm gonna go defend because it's more exciting type of.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a
that's
switch
what I
hitter.
imagine.
That's a cool dude, man.
So I mean, that's how I kind of got my experience. And
Wow.
so I learned on that side and used my experience to help people defend people. But it's in terms of trials, I have a really high success rate.
Right.
But everybody asked me that question.
Wow.
Hey, did you win today or lose?
Uh-huh.
And it's not really a win-lose situation. Every case is different. In terms of maybe getting the case dismissed, maybe reducing charges or reducing a sentence. So and those factors,
Win.
very successful,
Right.
But it's not. I can say just a total win or a total loss. It's
Right.
just a little different.
Okay, so from DUIs, let's talk about hit and runs, man. A hit and run is considered like right now, you pull out of the parking lot, you hit the car, and you take off, or you hit somebody, and then you take off. Those are hit and runs, right?
Correct.
And what's it's because it's crazy how he defends these people.
Well, with him,
Well, it's
Right?
somebody's son. It's somebody's husband. It's a CEO. It's
I know,
a
but he defends
policeman.
them. That's just crazy.
Yeah, but everybody I
Needs,
feel like,
protection?
Exactly.
That's just crazy.
Reckon you put it in a really good way. Is that people always ask me that, and they're like, "How do you defend these people?" I'm like, well, these people are you, right? Because just kind of what she said is that not everybody when they first hear what I do, they're kind of but then when it's their
It's
son,
them,
it's
yeah.
their son, it's them, it's their cousin, it's their friend that they know they're good people. They just made one bad mistake. That's when
Exactly.
they want me to help them, right?
Right.
So, like I always tell people, it's that it's just one bad decision. You've heard kind of who I represent.
Right.
It's not it's just not bad people doing bad things. Good people make mistakes too. So a lot of times people are their first thought is, hey, how can you do this? But then when it's somebody that they know and care about and know that they're a good person, they definitely want them to be protected as much as
Right.
possible. And I think that's what anybody would do. So, but with a hit and run, those are interesting cases in the sense that, when you get in an accident, you're supposed to,
Stay.
give some information. Yes. And if somebody's hurt, you're supposed to try to help. Right. So when you leave the scene and it's a hit and run, it could be it's a wobbler case, meaning it could be a felony or a misdemeanor. Felony if somebody's hurt, if it's just property damage, it's a misdemeanor. But in terms of the defense of those type of cases, is that if you don't stick around, who's to know who was driving the vehicle, right? You said you had two daughters, right?
Right.
they borrowed your car before, right? So it's one of those things where nobody at the time of the incident actually really knows who's the cause of it.
Right.
So
I actually
that's-
experienced something like that similar
Yeah.
because I was on the 10 freeway and I got rear-ended, and then I was in a fast lane, and there was no there was traffic, so I was able to open my door and go like, hey, what the fuck, And the car literally went in the shoulder and took off, and I was able to see that it was a woman, right? Like, oh my, I can't, and you could just see her driving the shoulder and all that. You know how no one ever drives that section of the freeway, right? Like you can see all the dust. Like she took off, man. So I'm like, man. So I called the cops. They came. They're like, "Do you really want to file?" Like literally, do you really want to file something? And I go, "Well, can't you guys go? I mean, I have cameras, the license plates there." To go, yeah, but to prove that that was really her, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, oh, forget about it. But you're right. It's like,
and then you don't some people leave. I mean, not it doesn't justify it, but some people are scared because they don't have a license or now especially.
it sounds like a lawyer, see?
Because
they're scared. Yeah.
You might be undocumented. Things of that nature. So especially in these times. So I think or sometimes just people freak out and I've had that happen where they just kind of black out and they they're on autopilot. They
yeah, you can hear he's a defense lawyer. Yeah, he already has everything.
I'm trying to think of something. But those situations happen,
right.
Unfortunately, a lot, right?
Yeah.
So
it does. Now, is hit and run the same as assault with a deadly weapon because it's a car, or is it different thing? Is it different?
It's a little different, right? Assault with deadly weapon is just basically using your car as a weapon, right? It's a fist, it's a gun, it's a knife. So you're intentionally using it to cause damage or to hurt somebody.
Right.
So it's a lot more of a serious of a crime than just a hit and run. And, hit and run can just be unintentional. It's called accident, right? Accidents for a reason. But the assault with deadly weapon, it's more of an intentional act meant to actually hurt somebody. So that's the big difference, and it is in terms of the eye of the law. It's a big difference.
So I have to be careful when I record videos with Rebecca because sometimes she's behind the wheel and I'm in front of the car recording, and sometimes we had a rough day together. So I really got to be careful, right? Because if she hits that gas pedal, she's gonna say, "Oh, I blacked out."
I have a good attorney.
Right? Exactly.
She's gonna call me,
and I'll be like, "No, what do you mean?" Damn, man.
And how would people contact you, Miguel?
They can go on my website, miguelduartelaw.com. Email mduarte _esq @gmail. I got my office number 562-869-5300. I'm here in the city of Downey. I've been here for now over 10 years. So I'm primary Downey's defense criminal attorney.
So should we call you the Downey lawyer?
The Downey lawyer sounds good. The Downey lawyer.
Or what kind of car do you drive?
Tesla
lawyer. Nah, it doesn't sound too the Downey lawyer.
The Downey lawyer.
Yeah, instead of the Lincoln lawyer. I've told you. Did you watch it or not?
I haven't seen it. No.
So the Lincoln lawyer, I couldn't afford a driver, but I got the self-driving the Tesla. So.
Right. Yeah. No, I think I like the Downey lawyer better.
The Downey lawyer.
Like you need
The
to put those
Downey
billboards at the entrance of every.
Downey.
Downey's attorney.
Downey's. Yeah. Damn.
You know it all.
All right. So suspended license. How do you help somebody with that, man?
With that, it's interesting. It can happen. The suspended license can happen for various reasons. Multiple points. For DUI, actually, I think we were talking about this earlier. It's for suspended license. It's almost like a gateway crime for suspended license because if you get a DUI, your license gets suspended, and then they don't really give you a roadmap on how to get your license back. And that's why when people come to me as an attorney, I walk them through the process, what they need to do. To get their license back, because driving on a suspended license, if it's based on a DUI, you get one, and you could be facing jail time on something that seems like pretty minor, but I definitely I first have to assess why is it suspended, right? Is it a points thing? Is it lack of insurance coverage? Is it because they didn't do some alcohol programs that was mandated by the judge? Or if that, what we talked about in hit and run is that somebody was, if they get caught and they didn't have insurance at the time, their license will be suspended also. So it's really just to see what the basis of the license suspension was, and then we'll attack and go avenue to get it back, because nobody wants to be driving on a suspended license. You get pulled over and you be on a date or something, and your car's getting towed 2 minutes later.
That's embarrassing.
So wouldn't be. I don't think you'd get a second date on it.
Well, if you ever need a lawyer, you say for something dumb like a suspended because it got expired, right? And no offense to you, right? Because sometimes luchadores get offended when we start, wrestling. They're like, he's not a wrestler. So what I'm gonna say right now, don't get offended as a lawyer, okay? So if you ever need someone, that you need to go because they have a suspended license because it got expired, just send me, and I'll be lawyer, judge. Rebecca here simply just forgot. She forgot to, renew it. And I'll be like, right, Rebecca? And then I'll tell you to play dumb, right? Rebecca, What happened? See, she forgets things, man. You know, perfect. No, doesn't work.
I don't know what the judge would say about that.
No,
She's always on top of things.
You need to be more
I know,
creative.
but I'm just trying to come up with something to tell the judge. You know. But anyways,
The judge wants to hear a more creative story.
yeah, but you just forgot, man. You're a forgetful person. So, anyways, okay. So, suspended license. What about these cats that are, right now stealing catalytic converters, man? Have you dealt with that?
You know what? I haven't really dealt with that in terms of defending people with that, because they hardly get caught, right?
Right.
But it's a crime that definitely right now that nobody's in favor of. I mean, you see those videos where people come out, they start their cars, and there's an issue. But yeah, it's just I think it's going to take something from like the government to maybe put a statute in for like maybe a little stiffer penalties on those type of crimes, and just also the resale, right? Because they're stealing these things because there's a market for the resale. Yeah. So I think they have to also look at punishing the people that that are buying these stolen items, and they know they're stolen. But it's a crime right now that just is you're you're getting caught. They're doing it at the wee hours of the morning, and it is. I mean, you've seen those videos. They within 2 minutes they're gone. So it's it's more of a thing that I think that the state government, the prosecutors, got to get together and come up with a solution to deter it.
Right.
And maybe even the car manufacturers actually, make it a point to maybe secure them better, or to personalize the catalytic converters so you can see, hey, this is a stolen one, right?
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing that. I think they have like these workshops where you could take your car and they'll mark them, but I think it's just a waste of time. Like you said, it needs to be held better by the federal or state government, to make it less valuable, I guess, that piece of metal that they're trying to steal.
Yeah. I think they have to do something to the resale market.
Right.
They have to quash that, because if they don't do that, it's a crime that's going to keep on, occurring.
What about, oh my goodness, high-speed chases, these guys that are just running from the cops, having fun. And I've always said they should declare them terrorists, because they are, creating terror out in the community. And a lot of families, especially when it's morning or it's in the afternoon or evening, coming home from work, you don't know if your kids with the kid's mom, and you're watching this. It's terrorizing, man.
Yeah, they've gotten a little more stricter with that throughout the years. I actually have defended people in those situations. They do, even for a first-time offender, they do have stiffer penalties because of that, right? Because, they look at, the resources extent, that they have to use to catch the people, the helicopters, and safety, right? Safety is the big one. Is it, you're an innocent bystander, and when somebody's driving erratically, endangers everybody. So, those people that do get caught, there's another allegation, and whatever the underlying offense is, if they're running from burglary or something like that, they do get stiffer penalties on top of that because of the nature of that crime, in terms of it being it's very dangerous for anybody on the street. So yeah, I mean, but it's different circumstances. The people I've defended,
it's crazy, man.
You see different stuff, and like sometimes you see the reasoning behind it or not, but it is a crime that it's very difficult to defend, because people just don't like that.
How do you separate your lawyer mind from your human mind when you know that the person might be and he is guilty, but you're still gotta work for it?
That's a question that everybody asks. How do you defend guilty people, right? And the thing is, you look at it as a system, right? So I'm not only defending this person, I'm defending people that come, before it and after it, in the sense that, if you just let the government, dictate punishments and who's guilty, and things of that nature, there is no protection. So, here in the United States, we talk about, hey, our system's the best in the world, innocent until proven guilty. And that's kind of what I'm putting the system to task, is to make sure that system is working. So, if, people, so when people ask that, in terms of, how about you wouldn't want to see somebody who's innocent found guilty? And by, keeping the pressure on the government to make sure that they prove their case or not, it actually helps people, they might be innocent, they get arrested later on in terms of the type of investigation that happens.
Right.
A big example of that was the OJ case,
Yeah,
right?
I just saw that documentary.
The OJ case, everybody talks about it. Pretty much everybody knows or believes that OJ is guilty, right?
Right.
And he took his case to trial and he was found innocent. But what came from that was the reason he was found innocent was because there were so many issues with the DNA, right? And so many issues also with some of the officers and their background. So, out of the OJ innocence came is better DNA, right? Now you see crimes being solved or people being exonerated from
Right.
DNA. It shows that they weren't guilty. So, some of the stuff that, now that the government had to do in terms of making sure that, hey, these things don't happen in the future benefits other people.
Right.
So that's kind of how you look at it. You look at it as a system and, you're protecting the Constitution and not just these people.
Right.
And then,
Wow.
somebody who's guilty too is that, okay, maybe they're guilty, but, let's not try to punish them, just by throwing the book at them. You make sure
Reasonable.
It's reasonable that the punishment fits the crime, because these are your brothers, your sisters, your uncles,
Right.
your aunts, your family members, and they're going to be back in society,
Right.
right? So how do we make this this punishment where they kind of learn from this, benefit this, and it's just not just a one-sided throwing the book at them,
Right.
because again they're going to be out in society, and again most of my clients are responsible people that you never imagine,
Yeah.
right? So it's that's how you kind of defend it. You look at you're defending the system, you're defending the Constitution of the United States, and just trying to get a fair and equitable result for everybody.
So it's always that
Powerful.
small detail from the prosecutors, right? So if they don't cover or if they don't, if you find that little gap, that's what makes it exciting for you to do this, right? Because there's always a small mistake, and that's the lead to you to winning your case.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of
Yeah,
those things.
it's crazy.
It's all in the details, right? So
Yeah.
whether they did something right or they didn't Mirandarize a client, or didn't have a warrant, things that those little details that
Yeah.
you look at just to make sure that they're following everything they're supposed to do, because that's their duty, right? So if nobody upholds them to their duty, they can just basically do what they want. So again, it's just
That's
one of those things
crazy,
where-
man. So you have like amazing investigators then, right? I mean, obviously you have to have some amazing investigators to make sure that the prosecutors have their I's dotted and their T's crossed. If not, then that's when you guys are like, yeah, this is our interest too.
Yeah,
Success.
you definitely it's a team effort. Investigators.
That's so crazy, Miguel.
People who transcribe, transcripts, stuff like that. So yeah, it's usually a team effort. It's not just myself.
You're hired. We'll talk right now. Nah. Hopefully not. But yeah, that's awesome, man. And again, thanks for being part of the community here in Downey. Where Downey Nissan's at, and yeah, man. Any other questions?
I just feel like with, right now where courage is needed, right? And there's a lot of immigrants that have had these issues and stuff like that. And maybe they're scared to make the phone call now because they think like they're going to be looked at a certain way. Like, what would you say to, people in that background?
Ooh, good question.
It's a great question, and it's something that actually is keeping me very busy since this new administration, took office. Is that people are scared, right? And and I think that's very unfortunate because, now you're encouraging people not to go to court, not to take responsibility, right? Because you talked about the hit and run driver or something like that. You say, why would they do that? Well, because they're scared because the police come that they might be arrested and then deported. I've got calls recently, as of last week, people saying, hey, can I hire you? I wasn't thinking about hiring an attorney, but I hear ICE is in the courts now. And, it's one of those things where, it's very scary for people, but, they can always reach out and get any questions they can from me or others. They shouldn't be scared to ask questions, especially from an attorney. When you call an attorney, he's your attorney,
Right.
right? He works for you. So, everything they say to me is confidential, and definitely I can be able to help them. But it is a scary situation for people right now, unfortunately. But it's one of those things where they should not be scared to ask questions, reach out. They can do it anonymously. They don't have to tell me their name, things of that nature, and I'll give them my best advice. To hopefully alleviate some of those concerns. But it's something that you turn on the news every day, and there's these raids happening here or there, and then traditionally where they weren't happening, and I think it makes a lot of people uneasy. But it's something that I can definitely help alleviate their concerns if they just give me a call.
Nice. ¿Y hablas español?
Sí, hablo español.
Yeah, what's your number again?
562-869-5300.
And your law office firm is called?
Just the law offices of Miguel Duarte.
It's a beautiful office in the city of Downey.
Yeah.
It's right by the library in the downtown.
But don't say that because they're going to be, it's bien caro. He's in like a nice place of Downey.
No, it's just he has a nice
know,
little logo. Usually you can't even see what the attorney.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice, okay.
right?
It's
clean.
But we're going to blow him up now because he's the Downey lawyer.
Yeah, Downey lawyer. There
Downey
you go.
lawyer.
I'm in downtown Downey. So.
Yeah, it's a great location just to stop by, say hi to him. He's very friendly. He's very approachable.
Right.
And his energy, if you're so stressed and worried about whatever situation just happened to you or a family member, speaking to Miguel will just okay,
Nice.
normalize it a little bit.
Yeah, he's like the calm after the storm.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and I do get that from people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I get that all the time because, like I said, most of our clients are responsible people. So I tell them that a lot of times they're harder on themselves than the system's going to be. So a lot of times, if you can, kind of demystify some of the myths and all that stuff that goes around. People get on the internet, they see, hey, I can go to jail, or this and that.
Yeah.
And they get, once they come see me, they talk to me. A lot of times they thank me because they feel better because their mental health up to that point is just, they haven't been sleeping, they haven't been eating, things like that. So once they get information and knowledge, the situation's going to be fine. You'll get over it. But it's a lot of times the mental stress from my clients, especially being a lot of them are professional, is what kind of I help ease the most.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. People that tend to be stressed or have anxiety, they get skinny, right? I'm the opposite. So the bigger my panza is, I'm having more anxiety and more stress. Miguel, te invitamos de que participes. We're giving away this Nissan Z. It's a Nismo 2024. All you have to do is guess how many balls are inside that Nissan Z, and you could have that opportunity to
basketball.
Yeah, right here. Okay.
So
I was hoping that was for me, for being a guest.
Maybe, I don't know. It's up to Rebecca. She's a mera aquí.
It's a beautiful car. So
right?
Yeah.
Look at that cutter, man. It's
the wheel.
So we're giving away that car during
edition.
the one-on-one month of what do we call it?
March
one-on-one. So someone's gonna win this contest. Someone's gonna win this car by the end of the month. Just
one lucky guess.
One lucky guess right now, right on the spot. And this is the entire car.
Yeah.
I would say that there is 75.
Oh, okay.
Wow, okay.
75
Did
is
I
pretty.
We don't know, but
Pretty
you have
good
to register though, and check the
definitely.
QR code right here, scan it, and then just put your name and good luck, man.
We'll link it in.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a beautiful car. Hopefully I win.
Yeah, I can see you driving that.
Yeah.
She's rolling up to the next client.
court.
Who needs defense? All right, Miguel, pues muchas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros, los amigos de Downey Nissan. Your number and your website or social media again.
Yeah, you can find me at miguelduartelaw.com. You can, my email is mduarte.esq@gmail. Phone number 562-869-5300. I'm here in downtown Downey, 10829 Downey Avenue. So come see me, say hello, and if you have any questions I can help you, just let me know.
And he's really quick about responding. So if you're thinking like, oh, no me va a contestar, he's so busy, he actually dedicates time to respond to everyone.
Yeah, Rebecca was telling me that if you meet up with, if you have a new client, you guys meet up for the first time, you take them to Portals, just for a quick.
I might too. What's funny is that's how everybody knows where I'm at. I'm like, hey, I'm just 2 blocks north of Portals.
Okay.
So yeah, you can
Cool.
You can meet there if you want.
That's right.
All right, then número de teléfono de Downey Nissan.
888-282-5597. Ven en persona porque te queremos conocer a ti, a la familia, o visit downeynissan.com.
Yes, we're starting off March with a great interview. Thank you, Miguel, nuevamente. Yeah, remember, register. You guys got to try to win this brand new Nissan Z, man. It's not only a Nissan Z, it's a Nismo. So
Nismo edition. It's just one lucky guess. It's free to guess and see if you actually win.
yeah. All right, guys. See you guys on the next
Good luck.
podcast. All right.